Howdy, guys. This is How I Talk Podcast. This is Chris over here.
And this is Tim coming from outer space to your place. I'm not gonna say the rest because he been dogging my lines. I'm just
It's
gonna
too
say I'm
long.
coming from outer space to your place.
Yeah, it's too long, guys.
I
But
love this backdrop, this atmosphere of space because it gets me to really thinking. You see, it gets my juices going. Hey, I'm ready to talk about. You know what we're gonna talk about today? We're gonna talk about whether or not women date down. What is it? Is it whether or not women date down, or why wouldn't they date down, or should they
look, see,
date down, or
guys,
even
his
if they
dementia kicking
could
in. He,
date
he
down?
forgot. Yes. Do
Even if they
women date
could date down.
down, and why do they date down?
Well,
That's the question.
let's first define dating down. So I want our audience to understand when we're talking about. I'm gonna give Chris. He's gonna have a chance to talk about what he means by dating down. Here's what I mean. Will women date someone younger than them? One, that's one dating down. So they would be down in age.
Hey,
Because typically, men date down. Typically, you'll see men date someone younger. That's a common thing. And so that means the women are typically dating someone older. So they're dating up. So it's typically that's what you normally see. But will you see a lot of times where women date someone younger? And a lot of times you won't see that down process of women dating someone younger than them. This is only one step in the dating down. We got other things we're going to talk about, but this one
right.
right here, I just want to drive home that why wouldn't women typically want to date a guy who's younger than them? And they don't. And the reason being is because typically the guy is immature. And we all know that. We all know the maturity level of men and women. We know that women mature faster than men. We
Mhm.
understand that. And so it takes guys definitely a while to then mature themselves. So a 20-year-old woman, 25-year-old woman, 26, if she's dating a guy 21, 24, oh my gosh, he's probably giving her the blues.
Mhm.
Because he's 21, 20, he's just really a young boy. And so typically they don't want to go backwards. They would typically want to date someone 28, 29, 30 years old. That's 4 or 5, maybe 6 years old, or even older than them, because they would be a little bit more mature than some 21-year-old boy. 21-year-old boy is very, very immature. They're very, very immature. But a 21-year-old woman is way more mature than a 21-year-old boy. That's two different maturity levels. So typically, you don't find a 21-year-old girl or woman trying to date a 17-year-old boy. It just, I mean, he probably don't even have a car.
Yeah.
So, but a 21-year-old woman, well, a 17, 18-year-old woman will date a 21, 22-year-old guy. And they would probably fit in maturity levels. They would
But
probably be about matching. So
you also
typically,
you said something interesting too, because the phase of life that they're in. The example is a 26-year-old and a 21-year-old, right? A 26-year-old woman may be done with the nightlife, the partying, being in around the college scene, the
she might
environment.
be
She's
ready for
working
a
in her
family.
career. Yeah, she's working and thinking about her future and things like that. Not that the 21-year-old is not by going to school or whatever he's doing, but he's also might be in a certain lifestyle that is not conducive to what the 26-year-old is looking for. So I think also within that maturity and immature is the fact that they're in different areas of their life. But go ahead, keep
Mhm.
going with what you're saying.
Yeah. But also, as the women get older, for example, they're hitting their 40s and their 50s, they're typically not looking back. And the reason they're not typically looking back is because when you're in that age bracket, a guy that's younger probably hasn't accomplished things as much as someone who would have been older. So you're expecting him to be 55, 60 to be a little bit more accomplished than the 35-year-old. So a 48-year-old woman is not going to try to date a 35-year-old guy. Typically, they're not as accomplished.
But
And
define
so
accomplished. Why do they need to
accomplished
be
meaning
accomplished from a woman? Why does he?
accomplished
Why does he
mean
do that?
accomplished from the perspective that she's going to want someone to bring something to the table that is equivalent or greater than what she has. So if
Right.
she says, I'm
Right.
bringing to the table a hamburger and a bun with lettuce, tomato, you know what? You better bring some fries. You better bring your own sandwich and you have some soda with it. You better bring more than I have at the table currently. And that's
Right.
typically how they would look at it. So this is, I think, one of the reasons why you don't see women reaching back to date as far as in an age bracket or anything like that because of these reasons. Now, there are other ways. I know besides age, there are other ways we would say someone would date down. What would you say, Chris? I gave you
One
mine, the
is,
age.
yeah, one is age. The second one could be looks, right? The looks of a person, the way they're not attracted to that person, right? So they date them, but the reason they date them could be for other reasons. Their past relationships, they've been hurt. Maybe they're with somebody that was really good looking. Well, guess what? Better looking you are, you probably get more attention, which is how the game goes, right? So you go with somebody because you feel like if I go with this person, it makes me feel more comfortable. It doesn't make me feel like I have to get their attention as much or make them focus on me. But you really realize in the long run that, well, this person, I'm not really attracted to them. And I've actually seen that happen quite a few times. People will be with.
Hey, I tell you, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I saw The View. I don't know if anybody watches The View. The View has those ladies on it. They come on about 10 o'clock or so on Channel
He
8.
like, in other words, fellas, he like gossip. He like that.
But see that no, they're not winning
That's the
niggas. They're not
show.
winning with. They talk politics, and they usually have people like on there like Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know if you guys know, but you can
Yeah.
Google it, take a look at it, give a shout out to them. But these ladies on there, and one of the episodes, they were asking the ladies what type of men would they date, right? And in the episode, it was funny because every one of them wanted to date a man that didn't look as good as them. Every one of them. They said,
Insecurity.
they said, they said they don't want to date a pretty man. They said they don't want to date an
Right.
attractive man. They said they
Like
want
me.
to date a they wanted to date a man that was one of them said the geekier the better. They said one of them said I like them with a little meat on them where
Well,
they're rounded.
let me
They
touch on
said
that.
different things, and the reason they said that, wait, I gotta finish though.
Go
The
ahead. Go
reason
ahead.
they
Go
were
ahead.
saying that is because they came back and they said, well, they felt that if this guy looks really good, cut, look fine, and all of these different things, they said this is The View. They said they would feel insecure, and because they did not want to feel insecure with this gentleman, they believed they said would spend more time in the mirror than they would. So they going, hey, you know what? I'd rather date a guy that's a little on the ugly side. And see, that's what my wife did. And I'm glad she did. She went on the ugly side. And I was like, I'm all right with that. It made me look like I'm dating up. I was like, yeah. So I was like, Tim, you
Well, I'm
dating
glad you
high
said it.
in
I
your
ain't have to say
category.
it.
So I was like, yes. So
But you know
when
what
they
this?
like,
Oh, go
go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead.
When they like someone with a little meat on, chubby. See, that's why I put that extra weight on myself. See, that's why I put it on. I was like,
You
they
know
like
what we
them
need?
dad bods.
We need
See,
a before and we need an after picture of Tim. If y'all only knew how skinny this man was before and now how much he
I'm
weigh now,
I'm
woo,
still
that
skinny.
boy be
I'm
eating some
still skinny.
hamburgers.
Right now, it's just muscle. It's just
Okay.
handles now. See, just
Okay.
handles.
Okay. All right. But what you said is a funny point because they said they don't want to be with the good looking man. They'd rather be with the guy that's not as attractive because of their insecurity. The funny thing is I think they're speaking from experience, not
Yes.
from that's how, oh, I just see it from a perspective of never experienced. They really have experienced it. What's really true, what's really what they're saying is I've been with Chad and Tyrone and they was messing with me, having fun house with me, but never took me seriously. They're really good looking and I went with them and they never took me seriously. And because of that, I feel insecure because they got attraction. They weren't focused on me. That happens all the time. These women out here be with Chads and Tyrones, and guess what? Chads and Tyrone, you put down your barriers. But when you get with the geeky guy, he may have more financial security. Who knows? You put up these walls again. Women are quick to do that. The good guy, what we talked about, why do women pass up good guys? The good guy, they're very quick to put up walls and say, no, you gotta wait. But Chad and Tyrone, who don't care, the good looking, that ain't got no morals or values, they don't care. All of a sudden, they don't
Yeah.
care more. And the morals and values go out the window. They in bed with Chad and Tyrone. So I feel like, my personal opinion, they're speaking from experience of maybe how they got played.
Yeah,
But
but we, you know what? If truth be told, we all got played at some point or another.
yes,
I
yes.
was there, and I could tell you the story of what happened to me. You know, she just misused me. I'm just doing my
She
confession
ripped
now.
your
I'm just doing my confession now. She misused me. She used me. Now listen, people, you don't hear the story. Listen at the story. Listen at what I tell you. She was a pretty girl. I dated her. Went to Longview High School. You guys, listen. I'm telling you now what happened. I'm telling you what went down in my life.
You better hope
And
mama
then,
not listening. She'll jump up on
oh
this
no, no,
podcast
no.
real quick.
She I bought the girl a corsage with my name on it and her name on it. Both names on the corsage. And you know what she did to me? This is how she played me, people. You know what she did to me? She cut my name off the corsage. Whoop, cut it off. It was no longer there. And she taped in another man's name. And you talking about her. When I showed up to the game, I'm ready to see my friend there with my name on her corsage. And it was scoop cut off, and another man's name was dripping down. You talking about her. I wondered what I'm going to do with myself. I felt like a little rat. I had to crawl back to my hole. It was embarrassing, people. We all go through things. Things happen to one another, but we got to understand. You
They
can't be
do.
just dating all over the place. I digress for a moment, but America, we're going to let Chris go back. I digress. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I had
It
a moment.
happens.
I had
Hey,
a
I
moment.
got played, but this ain't the time and place to talk about it. But yes, everybody has gotten played, man and female. But going back to what we said about women date down, we talked about it, right? First thing is age. Second one is looks. And then I'll say the third one is financially, right? I think those are huge things where a woman who could be on her path to, being the doctor. I always give this example is when a girl's in college and she's going to be a doctor, she's not a doctor yet, obviously, she's in college to be a doctor. She will be with the guy that might be the drug dealer or the guy that is in school, but he's not really in school. You know, those people that just be sitting in the lobby, or they're always just in the place where everybody's walking through in the campus, but they never in class. Like it used to always happen to me at Texas State. These jokers would always be sitting there. I'm like, dude, I know you're not in class because I see you every day out here all day. But the girl that's going to be a doctor, she might talk to this dude during that time. But as time progresses and she finally gets that doctorate, guess what? She ain't looking at you no more, doc, unless you have risen as well with her. If you have increased over time your value, then she'll stay with you. But if you haven't, she's gotten her doctorate degree, she ain't looking at you no more. She done moved on because guess what? There's a whole bunch of other doctors that's around her every day. And they think in the same way of thinking further and thinking with more in mind. So I think financially, women will date down with the guy that they have to be with that has a financial burden on them. So they're almost
That
being
happens a
like the
lot.
mother. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
almost being
that
like
happens
the
a
mother.
lot.
I'm taking care
Yeah,
of you. I always got to make sure you good. It
yeah,
creates a lot of stress, a lot
it
of
does.
stress because you're
Hmm.
trying to almost turn a boy into a man. And a woman can't turn a boy into a man. That's a
Show
man
can.
job. That's why a father should be there. And it has to be the boy, the guy wants to be a man. But sometimes
Yeah,
these boys want to stay boys, and they can be 30 years old and still be a boy. They can be 50 years old, still be a boy.
still be a boy.
And you have to think, I need to be a man. So sometimes women will go with boys because boys are fun sometimes. They like it because he's fun, right? Maybe they like it because playtime's fun. But look,
They
what is he
they
doing
like
it
it.
for?
They like it because he's available. I think it's more so that he's available. So the reason you like the boy is because the boy is available, meaning he's not working. He doesn't have to go do anything. He doesn't have
Right.
any appointments on his calendar. All he got is the video games and you passing him soda. He's a boy. And so, yeah,
Right.
he's available. They're going, I know where he's at. Well, he's there playing a video game. Guess what? You might sometimes need a guy who's at work, who's working overtime, who's saying, I don't have the time. I'm tired. I'm working. I'm trying to produce for this family. Sometimes you might need that. That's a man who's trying to make things happen for you. And so you need to look at that situation and say whether or not, hey, am I looking for a boy or am I looking for a man? And so women are sometimes reach back and want to date a boy as opposed to dating a man. I think they should look at that and evaluate what do I have in front of me? Is this a boy or is this a man?
Exactly. And let me tell you this is that women, like you stated earlier, will date on their level typically or above their level. It's usually, like you said, the burgers and fries analogy. They want you to bring, if they bring in a fries, you need to be the burger, you need to have the drinks, you need to have some dessert as well. You need to have all of that for them. But what I also notice is that on the flip side, you notice that man will date down. And the reason is because women and men look at the dynamics of a relationship totally different. A woman, when she's dating up, is because she's looking at security. She's looking at somebody that can be a provider for her and her children. A guy does not necessarily look at a woman that perspective. So if, example, we went to McDonald's, a woman, if I said, look, that's a great man over there, you know what I mean? Not bad looking. He's working hard in there. If I brought a woman in there, 9 times out of 10, she'd probably say, I ain't taking that joke. I'm probably not going to date him. Why? Because she may be in college. She may be doing something that might be more than McDonald's. No disrespect to somebody who works at McDonald's, but the way that she perceives it as, it's not enough. But if a man comes in there and he's established or he has a purpose, he's going to look at the girl that's working behind the scenes doing the fries and say, I can take that. I can make that into something right there. I like that. I can make that into more.
Yeah,
That's how men
I
and
can
women
help
are
her.
different.
And what a man would say, I can help her achieve. I can help her grow. I can help her reach
Right.
where she want to go. I can help her dreams come to fruition. So he tends to think along those manners.
And let me say this: the reason why is because the man looks at it from a leadership perspective, in my opinion.
Yes, the ones who are
I can
men,
lead
they do.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
but a
ones who
woman
are
is
men.
saying, I can try to bring this man over here and lead him. That goes back to the boy and the man. He needs to be a leader of his own. Don't be going down to a guy that can't even lead himself. That's the worst way to
Yeah.
go.
And women will have to recognize whether or not he's dating me for leadership to develop me or he's dating me to destroy me. And they need to
Mm.
understand which D is in play here, the destruction or development. And so they need to sift this guy to determine what is he trying to do in my life, destroy it or develop it. And so they need to make sure that happens. But let me go back to your McDonald's analogy for a moment. I know what you're talking about because I worked at McDonald's. I did. I spent a lot of time working there. Matter of fact, I would work many hours there. Sometimes, every now and then, I remember I got on the cash register and I was punching them little numbers. And when the fine ladies come up and show up, I would be looking smooth punching them numbers. And they never gave me the time of day behind McDonald's. I know what you're talking about because it happened to me. It happened to me. They wouldn't ever talk to me at McDonald's. But one day
Relax.
I
I don't
got
want you to get high blood pressure. You know what I mean? Relax.
yeah,
I
they
can see your vein
never
popping
did.
out.
I know what you're
Relax,
talking
dude.
about.
We need to
I
take you
know
to
what
therapy.
McDonald's. It's still haunting me today how they wouldn't talk to me just because I worked at McDonald's. It's
Yeah.
haunting me. But we'll
Yeah.
get back. I digress again. It's been one of those moments. But I really enjoyed this topic today. We gave them another round of dose. You got something else you want to say?
I mean, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing more. Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
some topics are not as long as the others, and it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
but
here's my chance to say it's okay, it's all right. We'll still be friends tonight. I got it in. I got it
you got
in,
it out
people.
there,
I
guys.
got
You
it
got it out there. Well, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you've been listening to our previous podcasts or previous episodes, I hope you have taken things that we are sharing with you guys and utilizing and sharing with your friends. But guys, we will have another one coming up next week, and we can't wait to share it with you. Until then, we'll see you on the next one.